He and his accomplices were tortured and then stoned to death.
Oh, stoning! Yeah!
Calistenia.
Alright, Alexander the Great. Let's finally end this series, man. Alright, let's get it.
At the age of just 22, Alexander,
22.
ruler of the small Greek kingdom of Macedonia, had led an invasion of the vast Persian Empire. After a string of victories, he smashed Persian military power,
Impressive
the Battle
as
of
heck.
Gaugamela, and took the Persian throne for himself. Now, in 330 BC, Alexander continued his march east. His goal, to find and kill Bessus, a Persian usurper claiming to be the rightful king, and to subjugate the empire's eastern provinces.
Alright, how are you gonna deal with this one, Alexander?
Alexander headed first for Aria, today part of Afghanistan, where the Persian governor Satibarzanes had launched a revolt after initially pretending to submit to Alexander. The rebellion was crushed.
I didn't even realize how big, like, the remnant of the Persian Empire was until he showed that map. I'm glad he shows that map. It gives you a really good perspective on, like, the true size of everything.
And Satibarzanes killed in single combat by a Greek cavalry officer. Nearby,
good start.
Alexander founded the city of Alexandria Ariana, modern Herat, one of around a dozen cities that Alexander would eventually found.
How many
Almost
cities did he
all bearing
find?
his name.
That he just gives it off his name.
Alexander marched on to Frada.
It's actually really
The
cool though.
Macedonian court had a long tradition of plots and assassination. 6 years before, Alexander's own father, King Philip, had been murdered by his bodyguard.
Praetorian Guard
He was now
style.
informed that Philotas, commander of his companion cavalry, had uncovered a plot to assassinate Alexander, but kept it secret.
Whoa!
Philotas and his father Parmenion were among the most respected of Alexander's commanders, and had played crucial roles in all his great victories. But when Philotas confessed, under torture, Alexander had him executed, then sent assassins back to Ecbatana, where Parmenion was governor, to kill him before he even heard of his son's death, and had a chance to turn against Alexander.
My man is being smart. Oh, my man is being strategic.
In 329, Alexander resumed his pursuit of Bessus. En route, he founded the city of Alexandria Arachosia, modern Kandahar in southern Afghanistan.
Wait. Kandahar was founded by Alex. What? I never. Oh, that is actually cool. This is, bro, I always say this, but I'm gonna say it again. This is why I love doing these reactions, because there's so much stuff that I don't know about that I learn, and I'm like, holy, and whenever I learn this stuff, it blows my mind, man. This is why I love doing these reactions, man.
As he reached Kunduz, Bessus was betrayed by his own men and handed over in chains.
Wow, that was very underwhelming.
Alexander sent him back to Persia for execution as a kingslayer.
Oh! Literally a bloody hell.
Alexander pushed on into modern Tajikistan, where the Sogdians rose up against him. He had to fight off attacks by local tribes and take several towns by assault. On the banks of the Jaxartes River, he founded the city of Alexandria Escate,
Of course.
meaning Alexandria the furthest, so named because he had, at last, reached the limit of the Persian Empire.
Of course. He names it Alexandria.
This frontier was frequently raided by nomads, known to the Greeks as Scythians.
Yeah, I've heard of
Alexander
Scythians.
lured them into a decisive battle near the Chexartes. The result was a crushing victory for the Macedonian king that put an end to the raids.
Bro, so you telling me that these people who were raiding these lands for the longest time, Alexander basically pulled up and said, no, 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 no. We're gonna stop this right now. Yo. Alexander, bro, he is him. I can see why Napoleon was so inspired by this guy, because Napoleon was inspired by Alexander, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think Hannibal
Fighting against Bactrian and Sogdian tribes continued, frustrating Alexander and tying him down in a difficult guerrilla war.
Do you really?
Tyrant! Who's a tyrant?
By now, many of the Macedonian troops were unhappy with Alexander. Most had not seen their homes in years, but their king seemed bent on conquest without end. What was worse, he'd begun to adopt the rituals and dress of their defeated Persian enemy, customs they viewed as effeminate and decadent.
Oh, so in my last video, I think this was my Alexander the Great video. I don't know, it was some video that I reacted to, and I was shocked that that the conquerors were adopting the customs of the people that they conquered, and someone explained to me that that was actually very, very, very normal. Then I realized, so interesting how in this case, I mean, he's adopting it, but his troops don't seem to like that. Let's continue.
At Marakanda, modern Samarkand, after a furious, drunken argument, Alexander killed Clytus the Black.
Who is that?
Clytus had been one of Alexander's best generals, and the man who saved his life at the Battle of the Granicus.
No! Why him?
Alexander was full of remorse, but his growing...
Oh, the Clytus? Oh! Oh no, bro! Oh. Okay, how is this gonna end? How is this gonna end?
Arrogance was alienating more and more old comrades.
Yes, Alexander, you're being a bit too
When he tried
arrogant.
to make his countrymen perform the traditional Persian ritual of proskynesis, prostrating themselves before the king, he crossed a line. To Greeks, this was blasphemy. Only a god was worthy of such respect, and Alexander was forced to back down.
Uh-oh, Alexander, you're losing. You're losing the loyalty of your
to
men.
assassinate Alexander was uncovered.
Again.
This time the ringleader was a royal page, one of the sons of Macedonian nobility who attended the king. Hermolaus had become murderously bitter towards Alexander over a perceived injustice. He and his accomplices were tortured and then stoned to death.
Oh, stoning! Yeah!
Callisthenes, Alexander's official...
Stoning! Bro, look, if I'm ever in a position of getting stoned, bro, I would literally just turn my head so that the shit can just hit my fucking temples. Oh my god. Oh my god, bro, I accidentally curse. I try not to curse, but sometimes my reactions, bro, sometimes I just can't help it. Like, sometimes, like, you know, stuff just shocks me that you'll just hear me curse here and there. But okay, that's how you know that I'm truly shocked, okay? When you hear me accidentally curse or say the N-word, or if you hear my accent changing, or if you hear my voice like freaking cracking, alright? That's how you know that I'm shocked, okay? But yeah, if I'm ever in a position like that, I would just turn my head so that I can hit my temple so that I can just get knocked unconscious or just die. Because if you hit your temple hard enough, you will knock yourself out. That's how people are able to knock out people, because the brain like loses oxygen and whatnot. So yeah.
Historian was also implicated in the conspiracy. He was thrown in prison, where he later died.
Of course.
That summer, in 327, according to legend, Alexander became captivated by the beauty of Roxana, daughter of a Bactrian lord. Their marriage was also a sound political move, helping to end local revolt against his rule, and allowing him to continue his advance into modern Pakistan and India.
Okay, so I've heard that Alexander tried to invade India, but he failed. But other people told me that that's not really necessarily true, that he was gonna come back. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
This is your brain.
The edge of the world, or the known world at the time.
Alexander now prepared to subdue the Persian Empire's most eastern provinces, which had yet to recognize his kingship. To do so, he would first have to cross the Hindu Kush mountains.
How are you gonna do this?
Reach the Indus River Valley.
How are you gonna do this, Alexander? This is the tallest peaks in the world right here, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Advancing in 2 columns, his army won a series of skirmishes against the Aspasi and Assakani as they fought their way into what's now the Swat Valley of northern Pakistan. After a fierce siege, Alexander took the Assakanian capital of Masaga.
Right. For a second, I thought that's
According to
Macedonia.
legend, it was ruled by
I thought that's Macedonia, like Napoleon.
a beautiful queen, Cleophas, who bore
no.
Alexander a son and was allowed to keep her throne.
Alexander simping!
The ruler of Taxila,
Alexander
near
simping!
modern Islamabad, had formed an alliance with Alexander. Together, they marched to face Porus, king of Paravas, at the Battle of the Hydaspes.
What is Porus? Who is that? Who is Porus?
It was Alexander's costliest battle, as Porus's war elephants inflicted terrible casualties amongst the Greeks. But despite Porus's fearless leadership, the battle ended in a decisive victory for Alexander, winning him control of the Punjab.
That's why he's a goat!
Alexander wanted to push on into India to reach the great river, which ancient Greek geographers said formed the edge of the world. But at the river Hephaestion, known today as the Bias, his army mutinied.
Ah, no!
His men had marched thousands of miles, fought countless battles, and not seen their homes in 8 years.
Hey man, I've been living in America for 9 years. I haven't seen my home in 9 freaking years. Although I might go back to visit this year. So damn, I can unironically relate to that, I'm not gonna lie.
They'd heard rumors of gigantic armies waiting for them in India. They refused to go any further. Alexander was furious, but had to turn the army around. He followed the rivers of the Punjab to the sea, a journey that took 10...
What if they didn't mutiny? What if, bro? I wonder, like, what would have happened? Is this why Alexander didn't conquer India? Was because they mutinied? Oh, man.
months. On the way, he defeated the Malians, but while leading the assault on their capital, was wounded in the chest and nearly killed.
Wow. God was on your side, bro.
On reaching the coast, part of the army under Nearchus boarded ships and returned to Persia by sea, sailing through the Straits of Hormuz and entering the Persian Gulf. It was one of the great ancient voyages of exploration, as these waters had been previously unknown to Greeks.
Oh! Oh, that's really cool.
Meanwhile, Alexander led the rest of the army back by land through the Gedrosian Desert, today in southern Pakistan.
Okay, so I heard a rumor that, I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard a rumor that Alexander the Great purposely did this because he was infuriated with his men. So he purposely marched his men through the desert. I don't know how true that is. If that is true, just tell me that it is. If not, then, feel free to correct me in the comments.
But extreme heat and shortages of food and water led to terrible suffering and many deaths among his army. On his return to Persia, Alexander executed several of his viceroys and governors. Men accused of ruling unjustly and robbing temples and tombs during his long absence in the east.
Ah, okay, justified.
At Susa, he arranged a magnificent mass marriage of Macedonian officers to 80 Persian noblewomen to strengthen bonds between his two kingdoms. Alexander himself married 2 Persian princesses. He also...
From Alexander the Great. Damn, I see you. You just love those Persian women, huh?
paid all his soldiers' debts and ordered 30,000 youths from across the empire to be trained in the Macedonian art of war.
Why not the Greek? Alexander, you're assimilating to Persian
his
culture.
Macedonian troops mutinied.
Oh, bro, why?
They were offended by Alexander's apparent preference for Persian advisors and Persian ways.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, bro, Alexander, you're Greek, bro. Why are you assimilating? You have no reason to assimilate. It's a Persian culture, bro. Like, he's literally assimilating himself. Like, I think Alexander needs to go back to Greece for a little bit.
Had the ringleaders executed and made a speech to the men reminding them of the glories they'd won together and leading eventually to an emotional reconciliation.
Okay, crisis averted.
At Ecbatana, Alexander's closest and most trusted friend, Hephaestion, died of fever.
Oh my, of course, everyone's
the king
dying.
was grief-stricken.
Everyone's
days without eating.
Bloody well dying, man.
A period of public mourning across the empire. Alexander waged a successful campaign against the mountain raiders of Kossia, who not even the Persian kings had been able to subdue.
Wow.
Returning to Babylon, he was met by embassies from distant peoples, come to recognize his greatness. Ethiopians, Libyans, European Scythians, Lucanians, Etruscans,
all those people?
Gauls, and Iberians.
Oh my gosh, bro. Nah, he's the GOAT. He is the GOAT. He is the GOAT. All of these people? Nah, bro. I've never seen something else so great like this. I mean, arguably, you could argue at Napoleon. I mean, Hannibal too, I guess. But still, this is just like, I'm him, bro.
Alexander's Bactrian wife, Roxana, was now pregnant. But as he planned his next campaign...
Hold on, why is he not conquering Arabia? Hello? This is like so juicy.
To Arabia and beyond.
Oh.
He developed a sudden fever.
Uh-oh.
And died days later, aged just 32.
What?
The cause of Alexander's death has never been established. It may have been malaria, cholera, typhus, or poison.
I heard that Alexander's generals was the one who killed him. That Alexander's generals were jealous. Interesting. Wow, wow, that's a very underwhelming way to die, I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Alexander died undefeated in battle.
Oh
His
yeah.
reputation as a
GOAT.
brilliant, fearless and daring military commander remains
Wait, is he the only guy ever in history who died being undefeated in battle? Or is there someone else?
undimmed. His decade-long campaign created one of the largest empires ever known, stretching from Greece to Pakistan. But it was vast and unstable, held together only by his own brilliance and name.
Yep.
Alexander left no plans for his succession, and his generals soon began fighting among themselves to carve out their own empires. In the Wars of the Successors, Alexander's widow Roxana and his young son were murdered.
Oh no,
His own
man!
gold sarcophagus, en route to Macedonia for burial, was hijacked. Ended up in Alexandria in Egypt. Today, its location remains one of the world's great unsolved mysteries. Few men have ever had
Wait, what is so important about that? I don't understand. What is so important about that? Like, why was that hijacked? What?
such an impact on the course of history as Alexander the Great. The breathtaking achievements of his short life ushered in the Hellenistic age, as Greek ideas spread across the territory of his former empire, fusing with local traditions to trigger new developments in art, science, government and language.
Bro, that sounds similar to how he Hellenized these people. It sounds similar to how we were anglicized, we were anglicized, in the Caribbean, because when the slaves were brought over from West Africa, just like how these people were Hellenized and they adopted so much stuff from Greek culture, eventually, said slaves, became anglicized and adopted almost everything from English and Anglican culture. In fact, I think the largest church in Barbados is actually the Anglican church. So yeah, if you ever go to Barbados, if I go to Barbados in August, I will probably record it and post it on YouTube. But you'll see all the churches and whatnot. It has a very Anglican feel to it. It's very cool. Let's continue though. But this is cool. This is cool.
Some of the successor kingdoms to his great empire were short-lived. Others endured for centuries. But all, in turn, would fall to new forces.
The Roman Empire.
To the rising power of Rome.
Rome.
Research and artwork for this video.
Another Goldhead Epic History TV video. Might check out these videos on the screen, but you've made it all the way to the end of the video. Come on, man, subscribe. You made it all the way here to the end. You like my reactions, man. Just click subscribe. It takes 1 second. All right. If not, check out my videos on my channel. If you have any suggestions to do, comment the suggestions down below in the comment section. And as always, lads, stay tuned. Thank you for watching.